Good morning. This is Bob Flaherty, the electric principal, and I feel like the luckiest guy in the world today. Today, I have the opportunity to drive around in a brand new 25 Ioniq 5 with all the new features that this car has to offer. And really, folks, I picked it up last night. These just got dropped off last night at Crossroads Hyundai, six of them. So they kindly let me take one of them out. And I took it home and I was just so impressed with all the changes they made in the software. Because I looked at one of these a few weeks ago when I went to the LA Auto Show. But when I turned the car on, it just said nothing, nothing, because it wasn't a production model. And nothing was functional in the front of the car. Well, now I'm in a functional one, and I cannot tell you how pleased. And I've got like 5 videos I'm going to make, at least on this car. But the most important one we're going to do today is we're going to make a video on charging this at a NACS, North American Charging Station, Tesla, in other words. And, this car does not have the traditional port that every other manufacturer has put on their cars, which is a CCS. This is a NACS port. And folks, I'm going without a net here because really, my understanding was they weren't going to open up the Tesla network until the 15th. And so I'm sure hoping, since they dropped the car off, that this is going to work at the Tesla network. Now, there may be some trick I don't know. Maybe I will have to use the Hyundai app versus using a Tesla app. I'm not sure yet. And, sometimes when something is brand new, you got to learn while you earn here. That's exactly what I'm going to do today. So why not take this beautiful matte white finish car, by the way, first one that's ever come out in that color, and take it to Boulder, Colorado, because hey, there's no better place on earth than Boulder. It's just a gorgeous place to be. And we're going to test this out. And, in doing so, I'll get to show you some of the new software that deals specifically with driving and range and doing all that fun stuff that I normally do. What I'm going to do now, after I hit the search button right here, I've got that, is just go to EV charging stations. And I have got this set up to only show me Tesla stations. Now, I don't have the Hyundai BlueLink hooked up, which gives me a lot more capability when it comes to the internal computer and what it shows on the screen. But it's showing me that 30.6 miles away is Boulder, Colorado, and that there is a Tesla supercharger there. So I'm just going to select that, and that's where I'm going to go. And it kind of tells you what's going on there, and I'm going to hit the route button, okay? And we don't have BlueLink to do this, so we're not going to activate it, but here we go. So hopefully we get enough of an experience that this is going to work and function. The other thing I get to do right now is show you, it's talking to me now, giving me directions, is, in the old days, if I did this step, it would automatically start battery conditioning. Well, it still does. But more importantly, I don't really need to do that. I could turn battery preconditioning on anytime. I could turn it on from home. I wouldn't have to have anything in the GPS to make that happen. And it's just kind of a simple process here. If I hit the home button here and I go to setup here, all right, and I go to EV, okay, it's right here's a button. Normally, that's all I have to do. I can turn it on or off just by hitting that, right? Well, I just shut it off. I can do that, but I'm going to turn it on active right now. And you could do it either way. And that is such an improvement. Now, one thing I wish it did tell me is how long it's going to take to get that battery warmed up. One of the things I was really impressed about with the Buzz from VW is it gives you a time, how long it's going to take. That'd be nice, but I'm just happy to have the button right now. And I know it's going to take a while. It's going to take 50 minutes. It's 31 degrees out. A lot of people think that they can turn this on and that somehow driving 5 miles from their home to a charger will heat the battery. No, it's not going to work that way. It takes a bit of time. It's a big battery. It's a bigger battery right now than we had in the 24 generation Ioniq 5s. So now that we've got this active, I'm going to hit the map button. And hey, we're going to get there. It's 39 miles away. And now, right now, when I look at the fuel gauge on this thing, one of the things it gives me is a screen that tells me, my range, 81 to 140. If I drive with a lead foot, have the heat on, it's going to take more energy. It's also going to show me tire pressure, all in the same menu. I don't have to go through any buttons to get through different menus. Power distribution, but it's going to show you the current trip. Right now, I've gone 19.7 miles because I charged at my house last night using an adapter, Tesla adapter to my standard charger. And I'm averaging 2.5. It's a cold day. I drove on the highway. Yeah, I went a little fast. So that's not necessarily the greatest. But since the last reset, I've had 2.5 miles, and I reset it at my home. But you get all these menus by just scrolling the thumb wheel here. It does a lot of things. And once again, the beauty of the software is I'm not having to go into 3 or 4 different menus to get this information. They put it on one menu, and they're the major things I want to see. Didn't expect that. Didn't know that was going to happen. But I can't tell you how happy I am that that's just one little thing that gives an EV geek like myself a lot of pleasure that they did that. And look at this screen for a second, right? There's no more lines going all over the place and empty space. I've got my speedometer, I've got my temperature, I've got my center information screen, and then I've got how much power I'm using. It's telling me my minimum and maximum range. All that stuff is right in front of me with no distractions. Very simple. And since there's less in the frivolous graphic department, like on the 22, 23, and 24s, um, the screens are even snappier because we're not wasting a lot of graphic power on things that really don't matter. And so I can't tell you how pleased. So, hey, the next time we stop, I'm going to be at a Tesla supercharger, and we're going to plug this thing without a net, and we're going to see if it works. And I intentionally chose a charger that doesn't have a magic dock because when I use my Tesla app, I don't want it to get confused that somehow I have a CCS port on my Ioniq 5 because, hey, this is the first non-Tesla vehicle ever to have a NACS port. And it also came, by the way, with it also came with a very handy adapter so that I could take on my NACS port and plug into CCS chargers as well. So we're going to play with all that for the next couple of days. I'm the luckiest man on earth, right? 32 years of teaching kids and working with some of the best faculty members you've ever seen at Sheboygan Falls Middle School and Evansville Middle School, and teaching at McGuanago High School for years. And now I get to play with a brand new car with all kinds of features and have fun and teach at the same time. Life is good. We'll see you in Boulder. So we're charging along here. Very simple process. I just use the app to choose where I want to charge, and it just does all the work for me. Everything as it should be. We've got the lights flashing here, letting us know that charging is beginning. Hey, so we are live at the Tesla charger in Boulder. And the good news is we have success. So right now, we are charging at a Tesla charger, and we're charging at 120.2 kilowatts. We're at 27%. We're charging at 119.7 kilowatts. Up to 120 right now, we just reached. We had preconditioned the battery the whole way. Right now, it's set to go to 100%, so I'm going to just turn this down to 80, which is a more reasonable amount. And it's going to do this in 24 minutes. That's what it's predicting it's going to do. And we're going to find out for sure when I get the receipt from Tesla, because it'll give me all that information. But I'm pretty excited that this thing is up and running and working the way that it should. So we're working away here with the Ioniq 5. We're at 51%. We're still charging at 121 kilowatts. So I suspect that what's going to happen here, we got 13 minutes left. It's just going to keep ripping at this rate, and I'll bet it doesn't drop much after it hits 80, but we're going to find out, because I think what I'm going to do is just simply turn this to 90%. I know the time's going to be off. It's going to raise that time to 25 minutes, but I kind of want to see how fast this charges once it hits 80%. Because most cars, once they hit 80%, just drop off precipitously. They just take a nosedive. So let's see what happens here in terms of charging speed with the car. Hey, so we're back in the car again, and we're at 78%. It's telling us we've got 12 minutes to get to 90%, because I just wanted to see what would happen to the charging speed once we went past 88. 78, we're still doing 108 kilowatts. We're still exceeding what I do in my 23 when I plug it into a Tesla charger that has a magic dock. Those are far and few between, and when you do plug in, it's about 100 kilowatts. But what makes this thing great is that, you know, normally if I get to 80%, my charging speed is going to drop a lot, and I'm still at 109. Most cars couldn't do that. So we're going to take a second to talk about this. Now, you know, we have a car that's an 800 volt architecture car, actually slightly lower, about 700. And we're charging at a Tesla charger that's really made for 400. So we're not going to get the blazing, you know, 230 kilowatts starting out on a summer day when I plug into an Electrify America CCS that has a 350 kilowatt charger. But instead I charge at 120. And that's okay, because it goes all the way across the board. And that's why, you know, my network just opened up, right? I can go to CCS, I can go to Tesla. There are a lot of really good Tesla chargers out there. And some of those chargers you can't use still because they're 150. That's my understanding. It's strange because it does show up on my GPS. I do see that charger. Excited today to charge here. Right now, you know, life is good. If you're driving a Hyundai, if you're driving a 25 Hyundai, you've got this whole network and you're charging faster than you would have on a 23 or 22. Now those cars, including a 24, you know, you'll only be charging at a measly 100 kilowatts, which is really good because you're going to do it from start to finish. So if you can't use a CCS charger, and there's a Tesla charger available, go use it as long as it's 250 kilowatts or above. You know what? Driving just got easier. Now the question becomes, once we've done this, can a 23 plug in yet? Can a 22 plug in using an adapter? Well, we are going to find out in the next video. So once again, thanks for watching the channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. Please subscribe and like this video if you found it useful. I do reviews of all cars, but I do a lot more when it comes to Hyundai. I love these cars, and I think they're still the best bet for the money.